Hi, my name's Tom Freeman, and I'd like to welcome you to the Proven Private Label System. In this short presentation today, I'm going to be discussing how to private label physical products, that's real physical products, for maximum profit, financial security, and your freedom. So in today's presentation, I'm going to be talking about what is a private label. Now, you might have heard of private label as in information, but what I'm going to be covering is specifically private labeling physical products. That's real physical products you can hold in your hand. We're going to discuss who private label is for and how you can benefit by using private label products in your business. We'll discuss why even would you choose to private label products. What's the benefit of private labeling products? We'll also look at examples of physical private label products, and we'll show some common examples of how businesses are currently using physical private label products in the business to not only create profits, good profits, and even start a brand new business from scratch, leading up to at least a six-figure income. We'll also discuss other ways of how physical private label products are used and can be used in the business. The system I've put together mainly focuses on advertising and marketing online using multiple channel e-commerce, so multiple points of sale online. Because even if you're an offline business, totally offline, why not use the internet as well to bring in new customers and to attract new clients to your business? You can also use private label products solely to create a brand new business if you wish, from total scratch, and we'll go through that in today's presentation. We'll look at how much you can earn by doing this system and using this in your business. So firstly, you might want to know who I am. Who is Tom Freeman? Who am I to tell you all this? Well, to put it briefly, in 2004 I finished my job. I was a technical project manager and I worked at an international packaging firm who provided packaging solutions for some of the largest companies in the world. I'd been working 6 to 7 years in that role, and it was time to take a break. So I was going to take 6 months out to travel and experience the world a little bit. I didn't want to be stuck in an office on this career path my entire life without experiencing some of the world at least. So I ended up selling everything I owned in the house, everything I could find, including my car, to give me some money to buy my ticket and fulfill my travel plans overseas. As I was traveling around Asia, the income I was generating was very little. Basically, I wasted lots of time and money trying various online courses and affiliate marketing systems, SEO, surveys, drop shipping, anything you can think of really. You name it, I've tried it. It didn't work for me at that time. So I ended up $60,000 in debt. So basically, my options were to either get an income or fly back to the UK and try and find a job to sit in an office all day again, which I didn't want to do. So it was a gun to the head, basically. I had to find something that worked. And the only thing that worked for me was private labeling physical products, creating my own brands. So that's what I want to discuss with you today. Okay, so continued into the future now. Here I am last year with a private label business. I made $1.2 million in sales just in 12 months alone. Usually these days, a few more mugshots of me being lazy off the island of Koh Samet. Another one here with the Hong Kong backdrop. And here at the bottom with my fiance of 8 years now as I make this. So, as I say, $1.2 million in sales in the last 12 months. There's no reason I wouldn't continue to build brands with private label products. And I started this business from scratch, $60,000 in debt. I really would recommend this for anyone wanting to build, or at least get it secure. And at least you could even build a huge business with this. So we're going to be covering brand building and multiple e-commerce channels. We'll also cover direct marketing and how that can really seriously boost your private label efforts and brand building efforts. So this course, basically, the private label blueprint system I've put together, it's about getting secure. So $10,000 income. To get to that stage, you can get there quite quickly if you implement the correct procedures and build the brands the right way. So to get to that stage, I feel many people may be listening to this. An extra $10,000 a month might give you some financial security, and you can do that relatively quickly. And the reason I put here get rich slowly underneath is because once you achieve security with your $10,000 a month, you can then begin to build upon that, because once you've got your financial security in place, it's a lot easier, it's much more relaxed to build wealth over time. You know, some of the internet courses say, well, you know, you get rich quickly. I find it very difficult to believe there's much truth in that whatsoever. You know, nobody gets rich overnight unless they win the lottery, in my opinion, and unless it's handed on a plate. So in my opinion, not many people can get rich overnight, but you certainly can get rich slowly over time if you continue to implement the system over a longer period. And of course, enjoy the journey along the way, because private labeling real physical products to build brands and to market these brands worldwide can be a real enjoyable business. So you should enjoy the journey as well, because you're going to have plenty of time to enjoy your own free time once you get to the security of $10,000 a month minimum. Okay, so let's get into the program. So firstly, what is private label? So private label basically is my definition. Now this is in the handbook that you can download. Basically my definition of private label is to assign your own brand name or trademark or label to a product or service that you are legally able to claim rights to for your own purpose. Okay, so you can place your own brand name or label on the product that you're allowed to legally acquire and brand, and that product then represents your brand, and it really is that simple. So you may have seen this symbol here next to brand names, next to product names, and that's basically the registered trademark symbol to state that the brand name is, or the product name is, registered legally with the correct authorities who regulate these IP protection, copyright laws and trademarks. Okay, so this is what you want to be aiming towards. Is first you can start private labeling products to sell for profit, but once you establish brand names and product names, you can certainly go ahead and legally protect those brands and trademarks and symbols. You can protect them legally once you're registered with the correct authorities. Okay, so we want to be building brands, we want to be creating private label products for profit, and we want to become a brand owner. Because once you're a brand owner, great things happen. You know, people come to you to sell your products for you, and you're not the only one selling your products, which can really solidify your presence and make sure that you're not just sitting on a stool with one leg for someone just to come up and swipe that leg from underneath the stool. Okay, so when you private label, you can also leverage the resources of the manufacturers, because the manufacturers have large overheads and they need to keep machines running, pay wages and utility bills, for example. And they'll be more than happy to work with you to develop your products and produce them for you, because they need to keep the machines running, they need to pay the bills. So you can leverage manufacturers' resources, machinery, labor. You can design your brand and develop your products to be unique. Your brand name can be unique, but also you can develop the products to be unique as well. So you can have a unique product in the market, and it's not that difficult just to create a twist on an existing hot-selling product, to introduce that under your brand name, and it can be done very simply and very quickly. Okay, it's a lucrative business, private label, because no one else can copy you or resell the exact same product as you, because you make your products unique. You can make them unique not only with your brand identity, but you can also develop products to be unique. So you can present your own products in a unique way, and maybe even to a unique crowd of people. So when you're the brand owner, if you're selling a successful product, for example, on Amazon or eBay, or the other sellers will probably notice that in time and think, well, where can I buy that product from? And usually what would happen is they would go to the manufacturer or the distributor, wholesaler, go buy the product, and then undercut you on price and start selling the exact same product as you. So basically, they'll sell it for a few dollars less, and you'll lose your sales because you'll have competition. But what happens is, if you're the brand owner, those resellers will gravitate towards you and approach you to buy the products to resell for you, basically in turn becoming your sales force. Okay, so your competition actually becomes your sales force. So who is private label for? Who can private label physical products, and who would even want to? Well, in my view, anyone can private label physical products, and basically anyone, and I mean anyone, who wants to make an extra $10,000 or £10,000 each and every month as a minimum. You may be looking to start a new business. You may already have a business. You can add another extra $10,000 per month income and revenue onto that. Or if you started from scratch, this is a perfect business to start from scratch if you're looking for a new idea or to start a second business even. Private label is for anyone who wants to make an extra $10,000 per month, and who doesn't. So, secondly, apart from being for anyone who wants the extra money, other examples of people who might want to introduce private label products are coaches, for example, personal trainers, nutritionists, beauticians, doctors, dentists, vets, health therapists, or basically anyone in a position who has a clientele of people who they influence and provide their product to as a reminder of the service they're providing. So, for example, personal trainers, fitness trainers, take for example, they're training you, they might also recommend a diet plan, so they might have certain foods they can offer as a private label package under the personal fitness trainer's own brand. Also health supplements, of course, a huge market, and these are available to be private labeled, and health products. Okay, but it's not only for coaches, as I say, it's for anyone. Okay, and we'll go into examples of other products later on. But these are just obvious examples of people who might want to introduce private label into their own business. So again, beauticians, spas, health therapists. So a spa, for example, a beautician in a spa, maybe they offer their clients who come into the spa beauty treatment, creams, skin creams, and massage oils, things like that. All these products can be private labeled under their own brand of the spa, where that client can then finish the treatment and purchase these products to take home to experience the same products at home. Remind the client of the experience, because the products will be branded, to remind the client and consumer of the experience, encouraging repeat sales and repeat custom, basically. Okay, thirdly, who else will want a private label products? Well, online marketers have put, because online marketers like to build lists of buyers, and lists of buyers can be easily generated by selling private label products, physical products. Plus, not only that, make a profit from it rather than having to pay to build your list. Okay, so online marketers like to build lists, can sell more products to the same group of people who have already been proven to buy. So private labels are the ideal front-end widget or front lead product to generate customers. Okay, fourthly, e-commerce stores. If you've ever had an e-commerce store trying to sell something online, or if you're selling other people's brands under your own e-commerce store, well, why not leverage those other brands and also sell your own brand alongside those brands, just like the large e-tailers do? Like Walmart, Tesco's, and Boots, for example. They sell other people's brands, but they also have their own in-house range of products. Okay, like Boots brand, or Walmart's own brand, Tesco's own brand. If you've got an e-commerce store and people are attracted to your store and you're using brand names or even unbranded products, why not create your own brand and have your brand sitting next to those other brands? This way you'll be able to create your own unique selling point for your brand and get the edge over other sellers. You can differentiate yourself from the competition and give consumers a reason to visit your store rather than just going to Amazon or eBay to buy the same branded products. If you have your own brand, then people are going to have to come to your store to buy your brand from you if you make your brand unique and desirable. And finally, offline businesses. Well, I've already discussed beauty spas and fitness centers can supply their own health supplements. Hair salons can supply their own shampoos, conditioning, hair treatments, for example. Hotels and guest houses can offer their own garments, soaps, shampoos, stationery, things like that. In the auto trade, for example, an auto care business could offer oils, lubricants, car valeting products, all private labeled under their own brand. So basically, any business that can offer a physical takeaway product to remind their client or customer about the experience or service that business provided, then you can also use private label products and benefit from branding your own private label products. So why even private label products at all? Why private label physical products? Well, I've already just touched on that on the last slide. Basically, you can protect your income because by choosing to create and sell your own brand of physical products that consumers already trust, they easily connect with and buy in droves every day, that's physical products, actual physical products, then you'll leave other sellers still trying to sell the same old Me Too products, undercutting each other on price, penny pinching basically, and driving any profits into the ground for any product that they're trying to sell and competing with other sellers trying to sell the exact same products. Whilst meanwhile the brand owners are sitting comfortably, immune from this price war, and they consistently make high margin sales, selling to the resellers. Imagine a brand owner, 3 or 4 resellers all coming to the brand owner to buy the products to resell to the consumers. Okay, so if you're the brand owner, you're supplying 3 or 4 distributors to resell your products. Those distributors, unless they're in a unique location, supplying to a unique group of people, then they're going to be competing at some point, and unless you put a price rule in place as a brand owner, those resellers may want to undercut each other on price by a few dollars, a few pennies, and basically it doesn't matter if they're competing, because you're still the brand owner, you'll still be making the same sales. You'll be supplying all of those distributors, and you won't be a casualty of the frontline price wars that are inevitable and do go on all the time. Okay, so you can build a lucrative business. There's high margins in private label physical products because you're going to add value to your products. You can get a normal blank product and add value to that product by adding your brand and your unique selling proposition. You can be your own boss. You would be at the top of the food chain. Eventually, if you implement this system, you're going to have time to choose when to work, when you want to work. And you'll decide how and where your products are advertised and sold. So you basically have control over any resellers and distributors selling your products. Because it's your brand, you decide whether you want to supply them, and the rules for reselling your products. So, would you rather be a wealthy brand owner or a forgotten casualty of a price war? Now, I know which one I'd rather be, and it's the same reason I've been building and implementing the same systems I'm going to show you in the I've been implementing these for years now. They work consistently, time and time again, and this is the reason I personally private label physical products, and I think you should too. So, a few example private label product niches here on this slide. Now, this is definitely not limited to these kind of products, because as I said, any kind of product can be private labeled, but these are just a handful of obvious products that can be private labeled. The reason I chose to teach about small, uncomplicated products is because it's the easiest way for anyone to get started building brands and ranges of physical products. It's easier for shipping and logistics, for example, to have lightweight products. It's a much lower cost to acquire these smaller, simple products. And it's easier for the manufacturers to produce them and to help you develop your own branding and marketing on these products. So some of the categories here, you can see nutritional supplements, health and beauty products. So you've got supplements, creams, lotions, potions. That's just a huge market, a huge market. Clothing and apparel, another huge market. You can create your own brands of clothing. Hair care, so all the accessories to go with hair care. Automotive accessories and servicing. You've got pet care and accessories. Home and garden products. And obviously at the end, stationery, product packaging for information products, if you sell anything on CD or things like you're sending packages out in the post. So these are just a few common, obvious categories that you can sell in, but you can certainly private label any product. So these are just a handful of products and a handful of examples of the kind of categories and markets that you can easily start a brand new 6-figure business from scratch. Okay, so once you do have a private label product ready to sell, you're going to need places to sell that. So you can sell offline, but certainly why not leverage multiple sales channels online like eBay, Amazon and Google. Now I've put here, why would I sell on eBay? Isn't it for wimps? Now the reason I said that is because many marketers might think, well, eBay is the first online marketplace that people go to when they've never done any selling online and they want to sell their old stuff or old used items. And a lot of people might think of it as a beginner's platform. And it certainly is. It's very easy to get started selling on eBay. but it's still a huge marketplace. They have multiple websites to sell on locations worldwide, so why not use eBay? Amazon, of course. Amazon are in the process of expansion right now to international markets, so why not take advantage of Amazon's expansion now? List on Amazon and eBay. And of course, one of my own preferred methods of bringing in traffic is using pay-per-click. Google's program for that is AdWords, of course, because you have consistent traffic, it's reliable, controllable, and you can budget for your traffic and target precise groups of people based on keyword. But of course, why not use eBay, Amazon, because that's where buyers flock to every day to buy things. So why not use, and it's very, very low cost to advertise on these channels. So why not advertise on there too? So we want to be looking at multiple e-commerce channels. And these certainly aren't the only 3 places you can advertise online. There are many, many, many places, and we'll look at those in the course more specifically. We want to be advertising worldwide, and we want to be selling locally if we can, delivering with quick shipping locally in different countries and different continents. So we'll also look at how you can use for third-party fulfillment centers, not only in your own country where your business is based, but also worldwide. And if you've got private label products with high margin, this allows you to be able to ship your products internationally, import and export, and still have good margin to be able to make a good profit. So when you do create your own brands and create your own physical private label products, following the private label system, because it might sound easy, you think, well, I don't need a system for doing this, but there are many pitfalls along the way, and you can waste a lot of time and money if you're not following the correct procedures and implementing a proven system. So when you follow the private label system and start advertising via multiple channels online, these are examples of the kind of sales figures that you can expect to see. Well, here's an example of one private label product, solely one private label product that I developed and introduced across multiple channels. And for the first 120 days, I monitored the sales, and these are the sales amounts that you can see on the screen right now. This is on 2 Amazon accounts. On the first one, the same private label product. So look, 120 days, that's a period of 4 months, $25,000 sales on the first account. On the second account, this is in UK pound sterling currency, and that sold £54,000 over. So you're looking at what, over $80,000 there of sales in 120 days. So you're looking at a total of about $111,000 in sales just over 120 days. Okay, so that's almost $1,000 a day in sales for one private label product. And the next sales channel, now this is selling at the exact same time, the same 120 days, the exact same product, selling on 2 eBay accounts. There's many eBay marketplaces. So on the first eBay account, we've got $28,000 worth of sales. In the second one, we've got about $9,000 worth of sales. That's in pound sterling, £5,600. Okay, and that's just on 2 different eBay marketplaces. Now there are more than a handful of eBay marketplaces to sell in, but these are just 2 I listed on, selling one private label product. So in addition to the Amazon sales, you've also got the eBay sales. And what you've got to think of and remember is that these are all generating customers. Okay, all these sales are generating not only a profit with a healthy profit margin, but also customers and a buyer list. So then, after selling on Amazon, eBay, the same 120 days, I also listed this product on my own simple e-commerce website. And I say that sold the exact same product through a shopping cart using, as I said, Google pay-per-click methods, and the sales generated on there was $66,000 in 120 days. So all this adds up. So all these sales on just these 3 main e-commerce channels, or 3 main marketing channels, and there are many, many more channels you can advertise on, and I do, and I will show you those channels and talk about those in the private label blueprint system in the course. I'm just looking at 3 of the main big ones here, and you add all those sales up for 120 days, you're looking at a total of $215,328.33 in sales. That's over $215,000 in sales in 120 days. Okay, and on this graph here, you can see the sales numbers over time. So if you look at the bottom, you can see here These are in months, so you're looking at month 3, month 5, 7, and down here is the sales revenue in thousands of dollars. So here is $10,000, $20,000, etc., etc. So here, develop and build your own brands to sell physical private label products. So this is what you will begin starting by developing unique private label products. And you can see it takes time to build up, but you can quickly soon get up to over $10,000 in sales. That's security. That's what I call security. And it's a fun business to do. And this is how long it took me. However, with all the information that I'm going to be providing you and support within the course, there's no reason why you can't achieve these figures a lot quicker than I did. Because I was trial and error, I was testing different systems, all the shortcuts and the exact systems that I've now fine-tuned over years of implementing this with many brands, various ranges, mostly successful. And there's no reason why you can't shortcut and achieve these kinds of figures a lot quicker than I did. Okay, so here, after you can see around month 21, we're well over $10,000 now. We achieved that at month 13 here, but at month 21, that's when I started selling the same products across multiple channels. So here at this point, you can see my income, my sales just almost quadrupled, and then again went up again by simply introducing the exact same products into various channels, various multiple e-commerce channels, and implementing direct marketing systems on the back end. Okay, so this is an example of following the system continuously over time. So you can see how this soon adds up to much more than a six-figure business, than a $10,000 a month income. And I say that it's the easiest way and legal way to get rich without an excavator and a gold mine. And the reason is, well, you leverage in manufacturers' time, their labor, and their machinery. You don't need $1 million to make $1 million. If you go gold mining, you're going to need a team of people. Otherwise, you're not going to get very far. You're going to need excavators. You're going to need a lot of money to put into your plant and operating infrastructure. You don't need that. You can leverage a manufacturer's time, labor, and machinery. And they're crying out for people to come to them and to buy from them, to buy their manufacturing time, labor, and machinery services. There's never been a time better than now to leverage multiple e-commerce channels. Again, it's very low cost. You can easily get your products in front of eyeballs in these giant e-commerce marketplaces for very, very, very little investment whatsoever. So now is the ideal time, because those marketing and advertising fees will only become more expensive in the future. So you need to get in now, get your products exposed, seen, and get those lists of buyers built, whilst profiting along the way. You can leverage third-party logistics. Obviously, these third-party companies are springing up all now because of the e-commerce boom. And they're realizing that more and more small businesses don't have the infrastructure of shipping, fulfillment on a large scale. And if you don't have a third-party fulfillment partner, then your sales can easily and quickly outscale the infrastructure of your own business. So we're going to look at third-party logistics services. Okay, technology. Technology is developing. There's third-party companies springing up all over to support e-commerce businesses for multi-channel networking, multi-channel exposure, and basically providing a central hub for your business for all the different parts of the business that you're going to need to manage. All this can be done by technology, using technology and services out there that are either existing or they're being built as we speak. So in my opinion, using private label products as a business opportunity is the easiest legal way to get rich without an excavator and a gold mine. My name's Tom Freeman. I'd just like to welcome you to the Proven Private Label course, and I wish you every success with your brand building efforts. I'll talk to you soon. Hi, this is Tom Freeman. What I'm going to talk about in this video is a calculator that I put together in Excel. You know, we think about numbers and figures of how much money would you actually need, or what would the income amount be that would make you feel secure, basically to meet all your living expenses and to have money left over at the end of the month, and more than enough money left over. And all too often we think about, or we hear other people making money and the amounts of money, and we think, well, how is that possible? And if you're in the mindset or if you have been in the mindset of working for a living, that's what I mean, trading your actual hours for dollars. So there's a limit to how much you can do. So if you're working in an office or you go to work and you work 8 hours a day, and even if you get paid $20, $30 an hour, there's a limit to how many hours you can trade for that amount of money every day. And so there's a limit to how much you can actually achieve. However, when you begin to leverage the internet and multiple sales channels, your business is running on semi-autopilot. I like to call it semi-autopilot because there's always going to be some input required, whether it's from yourself or eventually from someone else. There's no limit to the amount you can profit from because you're doing the work one time, and you have to do the work one time, and you profit from that continuously, as long as your advertising is still being promoted. Okay, so it's not about trading your hours for dollars. It's about working once and getting paid for that work time and time again. And this is how you can build up your income over time. So I've put together this profit calculator spreadsheet. Once you've completed this spreadsheet with your information, you'll be able to see exactly the steps you need to take to achieve that financial income, to make you financially secure. So I'll just go through this spreadsheet and you'll be able to see. I'll talk you through it. And this is what I did when I first started. When I was in debt and I needed money to pay back to the banks and pay off my credit cards, and I needed so much money every month to pay my expenses, I calculated, well, how much money do I actually need each month? Firstly, I needed to know how much money I need every month, and then I needed to know, well, what do I need to do to make that money every month? And how many products would I need to trade or sell for that income? So this is what we're going to work out today in this spreadsheet. Now you can download a copy of this spreadsheet from within the module and use it for your own use, but I'll just talk you through it now. So in these first cells up here, we've got how much money do you want to profit. So this is actual profit. These are not sales. This is the actual profit. So if you want a $10,000 profit every month, that's $10,000 in your bank after you've sold your goods and everything's paid for, then this spreadsheet will tell you how many sales you need to make. Whatever you enter in here, you can enter $10,000, you can enter $5,000, or you can enter $100,000. You can enter whatever figure you want in there. It will tell you how many sales you need to make each day to achieve that number. But I'm going to stick to 10,000 because I like to think that $10,000 a month would secure most people's finances. And you may have heard me say in a previous video, once you achieve your financial security, that's just enough money coming in to make you feel content about the amount of money that's coming in every month. Then you can get rich slowly over time, because any more work then you do is additional to what you really need to be happy in your life. Okay, so you have the freedom to choose if you want to work more and get rich slowly over time. So let's get into the spreadsheet then. So if you enter the amount here, so I've put $10,000, it will tell you how much profit per year you will be making. So it's basically 10 times 12 months is $120,000 per year. The equivalent amount of profit per week you're going to need, which is $2,307.69. The equivalent amount of profit per day that you're going to need to make is $328.77 per day. So if you can make every single day of the year $328.77, you'll have achieved your $10,000 income. Okay, and so in these orange cells here, you can change the amounts. Now, selling private label products, you add the value to the products once you're branding the products. Now, the amount of value you add will depend on the niche you're in, what products you choose to sell, how much development you put into those products, which is what we'll cover in other modules. But on average, I'm just going to enter here an average profit margin of 50%, because usually you can achieve much higher profit margins when you're adding value with your own brand. Okay, so I'm leaving that at 50%. So based on these figures, if you look down here, we've got columns here, your retail price. This is an average retail price. So if you have an average retail price of $10 and your profit margin is $50, your daily profit target is $328, which is what you need to make to achieve $10,000 profit. your average profit per sale based on 50%, if you're selling at $10, would only be $5. So for every product you sell at $10 with a 50% profit margin, you'll only make $5. So the amount of sales you'd be required every single day to achieve your $10,000 income would be 65 to 66 sales at $10 every single day. Now that seems like a lot of products to sell, especially if you're starting out. But it's also a very low retail price. That's why I've marked that as simply a lead generator product. Now I'll come back to that in a moment, because here in the retail price column you can see I've just entered a $10 retail price, $20, $25, $30, etc., all the way up to $1,000. So if you were selling products at this price with this profit margin, it will tell you how many products you'll need to sell to achieve your $10,000. So I've marked here in the orange cells that this is really a sweet spot for these products, for your first lead products. These selling prices are between $20 and $40. And the reason that is because this kind of price, between $20 and $40, you can usually build in a good profit margin, but you can also source products that are lightweight for shipping and handling, because obviously you've got to think about shipping costs and handling costs, even if you're not going to be doing the handling and the packing, etc., because we want to outsource as much as we can later on as possible. But you're going to have to pay someone else to do that. And obviously the heavier the products, the higher the shipping costs will be. So this kind of price, for the kind of private label products we're talking about, the simple basic products that are not too complex to manufacture, this kind of asking price for your retail price is fairly common. It's what you'd expect, between $20 and $40 as lead generation products. Now what I mean by lead generation products is basically once you have a buyer of your product, you can then retain their customer details to market to that same customer time and time again in the future to buy other products. Okay, so if we go back to the lead generator product here, the grey cell, the $10 product, there's no real reason you'd want to sell anything at $10 because you'd have to sell a hell of a lot of items to get the same amount as profit as selling something for $30. You'd only have to sell 21, 22 items per day to meet your $10,000 profit. So usually these lower cost items are usually solely to obtain the customer, because once a customer buys, you have then information about that customer. You know what the customer wants and likes, and you can also sell them other things in the future. Now we'll talk about that again in other modules, but I'm just trying to explain the calculation and how you should begin to think about how you can meet your sales target and meet your income every month. So based on, if you were selling a product at $30 and with a 50% profit margin, we want the daily profit remains the same because we want to make the $10,000 profit. Your average profit per sale would be $15, and the amount of sales you need to make a day is only 21 to 22 sales every single day. Now you might think, well, 20 sales, that's quite a lot if you're just starting out. If you tried selling anything online on one of the sites like Amazon or eBay, you may have experienced difficulty in making any sales if you're not getting exposure for your product. Well, don't worry about that for now, because the way you develop your private label products, you're going to be able to get exposure for them. Now, 20 sales. The reason I talk about multiple sales channels is because if you begin to sell 4 different products, so you've got 4 products, okay, so you need to sell each one of those products 5 times to be able to meet your target. I'll base it on 20 sales. So if you've got 4 products, you need to make 20 sales a day. So you only need to sell each product 5 times every day. So if you're selling on one account, that might be fairly difficult. Or it's not really that uncommon if you sell a good product. But what if you sell the same 4 products on many sales channels? So you begin to advertise on Amazon.com. You begin to advertise the same 4 products on Amazon in the UK. You advertise the same 4 products on Amazon in France, in Germany, in Italy, in Japan maybe even. And then you do the same on eBay. You go to all the eBay sites and list the same 4 products on all the eBay sites in the United States, UK, Canada, Ireland, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Australia, etc., etc., etc. There's loads of places you can list, and that's just using eBay and Amazon. So you can see if you only need to make 5 sales of each product every day, and you're selling in all these different places, you can see how easily you can achieve 20 sales per day with just 4 products. Okay? So if you only had one item to sell, but you were advertising in 20 different locations, you'd only need to sell one product in each location every single day, and you've already made your $10,000 income per month. Okay, so you don't need hundreds of products to do this. You don't need many products at all, because there's so many places you can advertise at such a low cost, and even for free in some instances, that you only need 1 or 2 sales in each of those locations every day for it all to add up to be financially secure. Okay, so the orange column is the sweet spot for lead products. And what do I mean by lead products? Is the first product that you can advertise to sell to get the customer. I would look at trying to sell anywhere between 25 and 35, maybe even higher, for your first product, whatever you think that should be. Now, if you go into the higher tier price categories here, I've marked these off as green cells and blue cells. Now the green cells I've put here, this is the sweet spot retail price for what I call second level products. And this is for upselling, cross-selling and bundling, etc. Okay, so if you have one product sold at $30, if you'd introduce a second product at $30 and sell them separately, your retail price will be $60, but maybe you want to combine them as a package and sell them both together as 2 products in one set, where you could give a small discount, $10 discount, and sell the set at $50. So then you'd only need to make 12 sales a day to achieve your $10,000 income. Okay, so the orange cells are for lead standalone products, the pricing sweet spot. The green cells are for bundles, cross-selling and upselling to other products within your system. Now these blue cells are for back-end products, what I like to call back-end products, and because these have a much higher retail price average. So to achieve your $10,000 income per month, you'd only have to make, well, 1 sale every 2 days or every 3 days at $1,000 to achieve your target income of $10,000 per month. Or you'd have to make 1 sale a day at $500. And what you might find is that because of the profit margin goes up, increases as you sell in these higher margin products, the back end, you're even making more money as the price goes up, because the profit margins usually increase as well as you're upselling to second tier products and back end products after you've already obtained your customer, generated your customer with either a lead generation product or a lead product, a low cost lead product. And the reason I suggest that you're going with lead products at this price range between 20 and 40 is because it's much harder to try and sell a $1,000 product than it is a $30 product. It's much more difficult to ask someone to part with $1,000 than it is to part with $30. So that's why the blueprint is based on generating customers and buyers with lower cost items, but even then you're using these lower cost products to meet your financial security. So of $10,000 a month, if that's what it is for you, then you want to meet that amount based on your lead product sales. And then what we'll learn in later modules is how to double or even treble that same amount of income using the same amount of customers and buyers that you're generating. Okay, because we can remarket to that buyer list by upselling and cross-selling other products, bundling products, introducing new range extensions, and we can even offer bigger ticket back-end products later on. This comes much later on. All you're really need to focus on at the moment is how many sales per day. Okay, so what I want you to do in this first month is to go through this spreadsheet, enter the amount of profit that would make you feel financially secure every month, and I want you to determine how many sales per day you need to be making. I mean, this orange price bracket. Okay, so if it's $10,000 at 50% profit margin, this this is what you're going to be trying to achieve initially. Okay, so I hope you can do that this month, and what I want you to do is to write that down on a piece of paper or a notepad somewhere. Keep a note of how many sales per day you need to make, and when you're looking in later modules, when you're looking for products and to sell, and when you're researching prices from manufacturers, you're going to be able to come back to this spreadsheet and look at what kind of price range you can sell at, enter your profit margin, and then determine how many of those products you need to sell to achieve your financial security. So that's the first sheet on this profit calculator. So I hope this is helpful to you, because it certainly was helpful to me, and it gave me something to aim for. If you just say, hey, I just want to make $10,000 a month profit to begin with, well, if you've got no specific actions or target to meet, or if you don't know exactly how you're going to get that, then you're going to be lost. So this at least will give you a target to aim for. I just put a note here in the sheet, but in the second sheet, about the Pareto principle, and you may have heard or you may not have heard about it. It's basically the 80-20 rule, and you don't really need to understand this right now, but basically there's a universal principle. Basically says that 80% of your profits will come from 20% of your products or offers, and a percentage of those customers will always spend more with you, and then a smaller percentage of those customers will be willing to spend even more with you. And this is based on usually 80 to 20%, and that's the Pareto principle. I'll just mention that in there because we'll go over this in a separate module, but you don't need to understand it right now, but it's just to keep that in mind, is that when you begin to make 20 sales per day at $30, if that's going to be your target, then a percentage of those people later on, we can build systems and funnels to upsell and cross-sell more products. A percentage of those customers would buy more products from you at a higher price point, and then a percentage of those would buy an even more higher price product from you, and this can really multiply your income much more than what your initial financial security number is. Okay, so I made a note of that there. Hi, it's Tom, and in this tutorial I'm going to be covering how to begin building trust with Amazon, eBay and Google to get your private label product listings more exposure in the quickest possible time. Now, I've made this tutorial for two purposes. The first purpose is to assist those of you who don't have existing accounts. If you're not already selling on Amazon, eBay and Google AdWords, then you need to get those accounts set up and opened as quickly as possible. Secondly, if you already do have accounts, if you're already selling online using these channels, Amazon, eBay and Google AdWords, then you might like to keep watching this video, because we're going to show you how to actually open international accounts, maybe accounts in other countries where you don't actually have a registered or physical address or a physical presence there. You'll also be able to explore how to obtain bank accounts in other countries, things like that. So this tutorial is for two purposes really. It's to make sure, for those of you who don't have accounts, that you're going to get those accounts set up as quickly as possible. And if you do have accounts, you want to make sure that those are in good standing, and you might get a few ideas of how you can open other accounts internationally. So firstly, I'd like to mention what I call the newbie account sandbox. And just like if you're meeting a new friend or a business partner, that you're going to need to build trust over time with these sales channels, Amazon, eBay and Google. Now, as I mentioned, if you already have active accounts internationally, then this won't apply to you, although you might get a few ideas of how to open those additional accounts internationally if you continue to watch this video. If you're already selling online, the chances are that you already have a PayPal account. But if you don't, again, you should sign up to PayPal and register with PayPal. I'm mentioning this because I want to make sure everyone has the same accounts and the same systems ready to go when we do actually begin promoting your private label products. So what I've found is, with eBay, Amazon and Google, they'll kind of put you in a sandbox for the first 90 to 180 days where you open an account. Now what that means is that this is the time you're going to need to prove yourself that you're a trustworthy merchant, and that basically you're meeting your obligations to provide good products, good customer service, shipping in the expected time. This is the chance you're going to get to prove to these online marketplaces that you're a good seller. Okay, so if you already have existing accounts, you may want to make sure that your accounts are in good standing before you start promoting your private label products. This is a key factor in making money in the long term with eBay, Amazon, Google. And the systems we're going to set up later on and put in place is going to make that a lot easier to be able to continue to maintain your accounts and keep them in good standing. Because the more exposure each of these platforms gives to your products, it often means the more sales and more money goes into your bank account at the end of the month. So as I mentioned, in the internet industry there's a term called sandbox, and it's basically a trial period or a waiting period before you get full exposure or full privileges to one of these channels. Okay, and so if you can prove that you are a good merchant by fulfilling their criteria, they're going to be your best friend basically going forward, and they're going to promote your products and show your products in more places than you can imagine. Again, that means more sales for you. But when you do sign up, and if you are opening new accounts, there's some information further down at the bottom that will help you in obtaining, if you need a new registered address or bank account or credit card, things like that. But first, the basics. When you do sign up, you'll be asked for your name and your physical address, telephone number and email address, credit and debit card information for identity confirmation, and your bank account information so Amazon can deposit funds into your account. So if you do need to register a new eBay account, I would suggest registering it in the country that you are going to be doing business in. So the main site is, the obvious one is ebay.com, so you can go down this list and see which country is suitable for you to open an account in, and basically open the account. You'll also need to open a PayPal account, so make sure you're registered with PayPal. And then also Amazon, you're going to need an Amazon account. Now, if you are located in one of these countries, UK, France, Germany, Spain or Italy, then you might want to look at opening a European account. And you can do that by registering with your local site and then contacting Amazon to add on other channels for your account. So you can manage all European countries from just one account. If you're based in the States, then you'll obviously be going to Amazon.com and open an account there. From there you can bolt on Amazon Canada later on. Okay, but you want to be starting off with one or the other, either a European account or a United States account. Now later on you might want to open a second account in the other location, but if you're not already selling on Amazon, then just stick with the one, a large market for now. You can always expand into the next market once you have one account running well. And Google AdWords, you can sign up for a Google AdWords account following this link. And we'll get around to setting these accounts up later on in another video, but I just want to make sure that everyone has these accounts set up, ready to go. So a few bits of information here for non-US or non-UK residents, or if you've been unfairly suspended from any of these platforms before and you need a new account, then some of these links here will help you. Payoneer, they will accept transfers from Amazon.com, so you can transfer into a non-US bank. And if you need a new credit card number, I tend to find that Entrapay.com is very good for that. And then there's links here for if you need a US address for a few dollars a month. I think you can sign up and obtain an address in the US and also in the UK. And also obviously for a telephone number, if you need separate telephone numbers for opening accounts in the UK and the US, then you can just open an account at Skype and purchase the number for the location through Skype. Okay, so as a side note, I've found that the more good history you have with any of these marketplaces, the better. Because over the long term, once you're proving that you're a good merchant, they tend to get invited to special privileges, and if other markets open up, then you tend to be one of the first to get invited to sell in those markets and to try new tools and new systems. Okay, so there's benefits to be had when you keep your accounts in good standing and fulfill your obligations as a trusted merchant. So after this module, you want to make sure that you do have accounts with one of the big Amazon accounts, like Amazon.com or Amazon Europe. You want an eBay account in either Europe or the United States, and you want to sign up to PayPal and Google. So I'm just going to go through how you would find the links to sign up to each of these accounts. So at Amazon.com, we just scroll down to the bottom here. You want to click on the Sell on Amazon link. Now these promotions might change from time to time, but basically there's two different ways you can sign up. You can sign up as a professional seller, and currently it's 1 month free, so you can sign up as soon as possible there. Or you can sell as an individual seller. You're going to want to sign up as a professional seller because you get more features, you get more advertising promotion, and it's a small fee of $40 a month, but you'll find that that is a very good investment going forward. Once you start selling products, you're not even going to notice that later on once you start getting some traction with Amazon. But you need to sign up as soon as possible because you need to start building that trust with Amazon as soon as possible. Okay, so if you sign up, usually there's a promotion on. At the moment it's 1 free month, so you can sign up now and at least you can start building trust. So once you click the sign up as a professional seller, they'll just ask you to fill out the forms, enter your information, just complete the sign up process. So over at ebay.com, you just click the register link at the top left. I keep moving these links around, but basically you just click the register link and just sign up with your information, your email address. It'll ask you for the same information, and probably to confirm your account, with your telephone number, with your email, things like that. There's nothing to pay eBay just for signing up, so you need to sign up with eBay as soon as possible. If you already have an account in Europe or the United States, you can sell on other eBay sites through one account, although I tend to prefer to have a separate account for each of the large sites. So I have an account for Europe, so I have an ebay.co.uk account where I sell to European countries. I have another account for the United States where I sell to United States and Canada, and I have another account for Australia where I sell to Australia and Asian countries. Okay, so it just kind of keeps those territories separate on your accounts, otherwise you end up with loads of different listings in different languages on one account and makes it very difficult to manage. Okay, so if you are already selling with eBay in one of these regions, I would suggest opening other accounts in other regions also. But it's not totally necessary if you're just getting started. If this is your first time ever with eBay or Amazon, just get the one account started for now. Okay, the same again over at Google AdWords. You can just get started now. You don't need to call the support AdWords. Just click the get started now link, fill in your information, and open the account just to get it open. The same over at PayPal.com. Just make sure you have your PayPal account ready to go. If you don't have one, obviously sign up for one. It's free to sign up. You might just have to confirm your bank account, things like that. It asks you if you want to open a personal account or a business account. You can just go for the personal account for now, or if you have a registered business you can open the business account immediately. But if you just go for personal, it won't matter, because as soon as you start receiving payments or significant payments, then you can just simply convert over to a business account once you have the personal account already set up. Okay, so I just wanted to make this video to make sure everyone is on the same page going forward, that you're going to have all the appropriate accounts in place. And for those of you who already do have accounts, then it might be a good idea to start opening numerous accounts in different regions, especially for Europe, for the US, and maybe even in Australia. Okay, so I would suggest that whatever steps you need to take next, to make sure you at least have one account of each open, ready to go. Okay, and that's the end of this training video. Thank you. I just want to show you the product scorecard calculator that I've put a considerable amount of thought and effort into trying to bring some organization to the research that you'll be doing. If you've already covered the other trainings and you've already chosen a niche to look at, or if you've already got an existing business that you know what categories you're going to be selling into, obviously the next stage is to research the products, and there's so many products to choose from. I wanted to find a way to bring some kind of organization to it, and actually a central place, a central location for you to record your findings. So in the spreadsheet then, basically you've got in the first column here, you've got the product title. So I've entered these example products that I'll mention in a moment. The next column is the web URL, so I've entered the Amazon web URL that displays this product. In the next column, I've entered the product rank. That's the product rank found on the Amazon.com website. or amazon.co.uk, depending on which site you're researching. I'll go into how you can find that in a moment, but let me just explain the columns first. So the rank will show you how popular a product is on Amazon. And what you'll find is that the higher the rank, the more products are being sold of that product. And this is the product rank in the actual top level category. So in the previous tutorials, I was trying to offer the suggestion to dig down into a niche category to find opportunities there. Once your product starts selling and becomes popular in a subcategory, that can then gain traction in a much larger category. So this rank here is basically the product rank in the top level category. On Amazon, there's so much traffic and so many visitors. If a product is in the top 10 in a main category, that's a top level category, the product is likely selling thousands per day, thousands of units per day. If it's in the top 100, again, you could be looking at up to 1,000, over 1,000 units. Anything over 100 rank to 1,000, say, that product may be selling maybe 100 products a day or hundreds of products a day. The next level of over 1,000, if the rank is over 1,000 to 5,000, that product may be selling maybe 10 to 50 products a day, depending on obviously what the product is and what the demand is and what the category is. But based on these product rankings, you can determine how much a product is selling, or a rough estimate. And then anything over 5,000 rank, you might be selling a few products now and then, not really worth looking at for the purpose of a lead product to sell on Amazon specifically. These are the factors that we'll take into consideration before giving a score, a final score. So the product rank on Amazon is one of the factors, and that's the popularity factor. The next column shows the actual number of reviews that the product listing has received on Amazon. And this will show us the competing factor, how competitive the product is, because the more positive product reviews that the product has, this will strengthen its position in the search rankings. So if this product, for example, has a ranking of 9, and its reviews, it's got a lot of reviews, 410 reviews, that's going to be very strong to remove from that position. Okay, so if you're starting with a new product with 0 reviews, you're going to have a hard time trying to knock this product off its position, because it's got such a strong competing factor based on the number of reviews. So this is a second factor that the total percentage will take into consideration. The third factor I've put here is the amount of pages or similar products that are being sold on Amazon. So this is the competing factor number 2. So we're going to look at how many similar products are being sold that are maybe different brands but the same product. So this is another factor. Obviously, the more products that are being sold or similar products, that's the more competition that product is going to have. Obviously, you have your own brand and you want to develop a product that's unique, and so you can bypass and sidestep the competition. However, take this into consideration when you're first starting out and trying to introduce a successful product from the get-go. The fourth factor that this total score will take into consideration is the demand factor on other channels such as eBay. So we're going to look at eBay. We're going to look at the percentage of sold items for the specific item that's sold in the last 7 days. So how many listings have sold of the overall total listings for a certain keyword. So this is one of the factors that we're going to take into consideration. And then once you have all the details entered, if you have a list of, say, a short list in one category, and you found 10 to 15 products that you want to try and test, then get the product scores. You click this score button, and I've already clicked the button, and it's calculated this score here. It's an estimate of the success rate that you're going to have straight from the get-go if you launch this product in comparison with the other products, taking into consideration all these factors. You should only use this as a general guide, because you shouldn't let it stop you choosing a product if you're really keen on introducing a product that you have an advantage with, a unique advantage, or an existing business that you can leverage to promote that product. This is basically, as I said, a central location for keeping all your findings from your research, and also to be able to compare those products against each other for potential success rate if you're trying to determine to choose 1 or 2 or 3 products from a short list of 10 or 15. Okay, so any percentage above 0 is going to be okay. If this product rank was, say, 6,000, oops, change that and I'll click the button, so it would then show us a minus 15% because obviously the rank was so much lower. Okay, so it's shown as a minus 15 there, so obviously a minus isn't as good, but it shouldn't put you off choosing a product, because even a 20% product it could be a very good product to launch. 60% is probably very, very good compared, taking all these factors into consideration. Because, for example, this 60% is for this deluxe fabric shaver product. It has a product rank of 318, which is very high, so it's probably selling a lot of units. It's got 114 reviews, so it's got quite a few reviews, but it's not 410, so you could catch up to that 114. And this is the fact that the similar products found is 0, so that's the number of pages of similar products. So if we take a look at this as an example, let me just open this up. Deluxe fabric shaver. Again, I've only just used these products as total examples. I'm not suggesting you should go and use these products or brand these products for yourself, because I need to show you some examples. So this deluxe fabric shaver, it's got a little brand name there. I'm sure you could get this product branded yourself and maybe altered or add other things with it to add value, things like that, but we'll talk about that in other modules. This video is simply just to explain the calculator. So you can see the number of reviews there. In the middle of the page here, if you scroll down, the Amazon bestseller rank in the arts, crafts and sewing category. There's the 318 rank. So it also has a rank in these other subcategories, but you want to be looking at the total rank in the top category, because that will really tell you how many approximate number of units are being sold each day based on the rank. Another important tip when looking for new product opportunities is to also do the research in different categories. For example, in this video I show a product with the keyword lint shaver being researched in the arts, crafts and sewing category. Now this might have a totally different product score if you were to do the same research in a different Amazon category. Now this is also a good time to search for those opportunities where your product would slot into a category with a demand for your product, but where there's less competition to begin with. This can help you by getting your product off to a good start in a category with less competition. And the number of similar products, well, I've just put the product name into the arts, crafts and sewing category to see how many similar products are being sold with this keyword, fabric shaver. And you can see there's only 17 results there. So that, even though there's other similar products being sold, it's very few. In fact, it's not even one full page, because there's a blank open spot here waiting for another product to arrive. So the number of products isn't even taking up the one page full of similar items. So if that's the keyword that you choose, and this is the product that's been sold, then you could sell a similar product with that keyword and you guarantee to get on the first page, because there's not even one full page of products being sold there yet. So that's been taken into account into this spreadsheet there. So the eBay demand, I've just come over to eBay. So what you want to do is click on the advanced search button. So you want to click advanced search because you want to enter the keyword fabric shaver, and also you want to click on the completed listings checkbox, because we want to look at all the listings that have completed in the last 7 days. Search for that, and as you can see here, we just want to go down the page. Any of the green prices have sold, and if these prices are in red, then are not sold. And therefore, if you can see here, this page is almost full. In fact, almost every product is sold except for one on the first page. That's very unusual, really. It's very in demand product. Okay, so we want to go back 7 days. So keep going back through the pages until you count 7 days, approximately 7 days, and you just want to get a feel of how many products are selling. So this is why I put 90% of products on the spreadsheet, because almost every product that's been listed on eBay is being sold. And remember, you want to go to advanced search and click on the completed listings view in eBay. So you enter your 90% in there, in this. So if it was only 10% of items sold, change that to 10, and then click the product score. It would only be a 25% total score. Because it was 90%, nearer 90% of products have been sold on eBay. Click, and that's bumped the score up to 60%. So if the number of reviews were 10, that would alter the percentage also. Because the number of reviews are much lower, you'd have a much better chance of getting straight in there and getting at least 10 reviews. So that bumps it up to a 90% total score. It was actually 1117, so let's put that back, 60%. Okay, so click the product score buttons and it will give you the total score average. Let's have a look at this next product. So this again, this is another category, home and kitchen, in the home and kitchen category. 129 reviews. The product rank is here, 1492. 1492. And the reason it's been given a 0% score, that doesn't mean to say it's a bad product, or you can't make money with this product, or you can't develop a brand. It just means that compared to the other products, it's going to be much harder before you probably start getting some traction and seeing a profit in comparison to the other products that you've got in the spreadsheet, taking into consideration these factors. The reason this works is because in another video, how to choose your keywords. So in Amazon, I'm looking at what this product actually is, and it looks like it's a little baking, miniature baking unit for like brownies and cupcakes, things like that. So what I'll do is, because the keyword isn't shown in the title here, it just shows it's a brand name, the Bakery Bites Express, that's the name of the product, but there's no keyword in the title. So to find the keywords, if you're already selling into a category or you've researched a category, then you'll probably know what the exact term is to type in. Okay, but for me, type in what I think it is, brownie machine or something like that. So if I type the first keyword into Amazon, it's going to give you all these suggestions of the most popular search terms. So it's brownie pan. It's not really a pan or a spatula or a cutter. It's more of a brownie maker, so brownie maker. So you can see other brownie makers here. So you can see how I determine what keyword to type in there. I just typed in what I thought it was and it gave me suggestions. And then you can count the number of pages of similar products for this item. And I think I determined that there were more than 3 pages of similar items, that's why I entered 3 there. But also you can see here how you can easily develop a full range of products. Now, you could become the Home Depot for brownie baking or something like that, but you've got to be able to think laterally. So if this is a product you wanted to sell, then and develop a whole brand around, you want to be looking to be the Home Depot of whichever the keyword or the surround the product or the niche that you're going to be entering. So look, all these suggested products are other products that you could, if you were the Home Depot for baking brownies, then you could sell a brownie pans, brownie spatulas, cutters, makers, pans, brownie mix, and all these other things, brownie mold. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure if you enter in the niche you'd find out what that is. So I hope this scorecard gives you an idea of how to record your findings and how to score those products, give you an insight or an idea of which products might be the best products as a lead product to go in and start making money with straight away. Okay, thanks.